Hi there. I would like to start with a cliché. People have ideas, plenty of them. We are living in a world which is a playground for testing ideas, the smartest and the dumbest ever possible. We call that capitalism. Unlike people think, capitalism is not originates from the word capital, meaning finance, assets, money. No, actually, the capitalism is coming from the Greek word capita, which is the head from which all the ideas comes from. And I call this the supply and demand of all ideas widespreading around us as economics of surprise. Economics of surprises. Now, one such of economics of surprises example is Frederick Tudor, relationship between Frederick Tudor and Mountain of Ice. Ladies and gentlemen, let's greet them. Frederick Tudor on the left and Mountain of the Ice on the right. Young Frederick Tudor, when he was 22 years old, was on his way to Havana on the ship when he was struck by the idea. He was sweltering in the sun and he was thinking, oh my God, it's so hot here. It would be wonderful if we could try a cold drink. There was no such a thing as mojito, Cuba Libre, and in fact, ice was a luxury during that time. So, Frederick Tudor immediately started to think about how to pioneer a transportation of ice on a wooden ships from Boston to all around the world. And he tried it in 1806, when he sent 130 tons of ice to Caribs. And the whole Boston was laughing at the idea. Newspapers were writing the dumbest idea ever invented. Mountain of ice on a wooden ship to Caribs. And they were right. Because when the ship went into the Caribbean waters, actually the ice melted totally, and Tudor failed to deliver cold drinks. Over the next years, he tried over and over his idea, and he failed again and again and again, as frequently that he was ultimately put into the prison. After a couple of years in the prison, when he was released, he tried again, and he was thinking about the same idea. But this time, he found that using human beings as people who are cutting ice, the blocks of ice, is not efficient enough. So he used a couple of innovations, including holes. And great success came soon. In 1833, a ship from Boston to Calcutta in India successfully delivered a lot of ice. And it was a 6-month journey and 20,000 of nautical miles. Incredible journey. And Tudor discovered that from original cargo, as much as 2/3 came frozen, still frozen. So this made Frederick Tudor a very rich man, one of the richest people on earth during that time. And well, it was the time when, in the late 19th century, almost 25 million tons of ice were harvested globally. So nowadays, we are using fridge. Ice might be created by anyone. But what I want to say by telling you this story is that we are actually able to harness the power of the weather. We are able to control the nature which is around us. And the same happens with animals, these species. It's a horse. We've got a power, we've got a knowledge, and we've got the technology that allowed us to control it, thanks to which it was one of the most important tools that human being has ever used during the history. A horse. It was used in transportation. Well, it was used in logistics. Today's post service originates from horse that was carried documents. It was used in the farming as it helped to irrigate fields. It was a delicious meal for many people. And obviously, in the military battles, riding on a horse gave the soldiers huge advance over others to slash them with a sword. But horse is not used anymore. It's an old tool. It became obsolete. And there are many other tools which are obsolete, like screwdriver, like hammer. I haven't got them in my hand in years. So, well, we are not using them anymore. We are using 21st century tools, which is software, analytical tools, big data, and other. And these tools allows us to work efficiently. Imagine, even a smartphone, even a cell phone. With a cell phone, we can call people, our friends, our family all around the world, and it's something that Frederick Tudor would treat as unthinkable 150 years ago. But we are having it. We are having it. So my point is that we've got a great revolution. 21st century is the century of new technologies, of IT. And this revolution is actually ahead of us. We are still witnessing it in very, very beginnings, so we don't know the outcome. It's almost like an egg on the verge of falling down from the shelf, this egg. And it might turn into something really wonderful, like horse that was replaced by car, a marvelous invention by mankind. But also, the revolution might lead us into abuse of nature and ourselves, and might end in a very nasty situation. If you ever thought what preceded tanks, there were horses with miniguns. So, economics of surprises. Economics of surprises is showing us that productivity is increasing thanks to technology. If you ever thought why we get rich, why societies are richer, one are richer than another, why societies get richer, it's because of the technology. Let's take an example of creating content. Centuries ago, content was made by scribes that were able to prepare it very slowly because everything required manual work, handwriting. So average scribe was able to write a book in a speed around 0.007 book per year. That made almost 130 days for one book. But then Gutenberg invented printing press, and thanks to the printing press, there was a chance to create 2.5 books a day. After which, steam power printing press appeared, which made possible to create as much as 25 books a year. And now we have a revolution. Content might be created by anyone with only a click. It's an internet. It's abundance that is wonderful. But we are not seeing that. Why? Because we are having our daily routines, we live our lives, so we are not seeing the great revolution that is widespreading around us. And this great revolution is actually not perceived by people, and they can't see the whole story, the big picture, which is the fact that working hours are decreasing thanks to technology. Well, we are working less and less each decade, each century. And it's good. It's interestingly good because, higher productivity is actually assumes that we've got better processes, we've got robotization, we've got a better management of the resources. So thanks to that, we are seeing a couple of different trends, like routine occupations are less needed. So non-routine jobs are in great demand. And meantime, companies are investing more in intangible assets like licenses, like patents, like software, instead of buildings, instead of tables. This is, quite an expected outcome of my research. These intangible assets are on the rise, definitely. So the thing is that we do know that we should care about economics of surprises. We should keep up being creative to maintain the economics of surprises to work. Even if our today ideas, products, services, business opportunities might be a silly joke for people that will come 200 years from now on, as we are perceiving Frederick Tudor's venture as a little bit absurd right now, because history has forgotten himself. So we should remember about being creative. Yet, the technology is having interesting effect. Because technology is having the ability to either liberate us or enslave us. I will give you an example. Famous Albert Einstein quote, famous Albert Einstein equation that allows us to understand the universe actually also was the foundation and basic for building an atomic bomb that was landed in Japan and other places. So we have to understand that technology has also good sides and bad sides. Take a look at social media. There are many problems that came with them. They initially were brought to life to make a relationship with people. People typically don't have much time, so there were platforms that were invented to allow them to find such time. So, but in fact, the thing is that social media brought us different problems, like craving for attention, like frustration, like loss of time, which is valuable, like issue with privacy. So, yeah, the relationship between society and technology comes from the need of control. Control came because we want to control the world around us. That was our initial thought as mankind. However, well, we are not individuals living in society. We are relationship. We are markets. We are societies. So when it comes to corporations, they are constantly spying how to decrease our privacy. Governments are spying on us. They try to check what we are doing, how we are doing. So it's important for us to understand that perhaps in this digital reality, we need a digital ethics, a new code, perhaps an update of human rights approved by United Nations. And that probably would allow us to slowly and steadily build institutions that will help us to live happily and enjoy our life. Thank you very much.